So given this information, the fact that ages 3 to 18 have access to tablets and desktops and stuff like that at home, and 73% in school. So given that information, how do you think that plays a role in their life?
I feel like that's a way they could go to like get information, but at the same time it should be controlled if they're like younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as your opinion,
About the same topic?
I mean, we could get even more broader if you want to, but if you want to voice your opinion on that specific topic, that's fine.
I feel like it helps out kids a lot because I remember when my parents was in community college, they wasn't learning the same math I was learning. They wasn't taking the same English I was taking. I was taking their math when I was in high school. And because of technology, we have a head start.
Okay.
I've mostly seen like the negative aspects of like technology and kids, because like I feel like kids nowadays, they don't really like go outside to play. Like it's just like playing on their tablet, or like if they're like screaming and crying in like a restaurant, their parents just like shove a tablet in their face.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. How do you think that plays a role on their own person, mentally, spiritually, socially, physically?
Yeah, low key, because like I feel like they just become very dependent,
Okay.
and you know.
So getting into the aspect about drugs, how do you guys feel about that affecting today's generation of kids? Anybody?
I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. It helps them choose their path easier. Like, they figure out right or wrong real quick. It's hard to find people that's on their side. So they lean to the influence of drugs.
To cope?
To me, I feel like the use of like drugs when you're like a teenager, there's like a good and a bad, and I feel like there's always an explanation to why people do it. And I know like some people do it because they're like going through stuff and stuff like that, and they just like it escalates from that. But I know like there's other people that just like yeah.
Do you think they use that as an excuse to take the drugs? Like, oh, I have problems, so I'm just gonna take the
Yeah, I
drugs.
feel like some do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think some kids like take them just because they're like curious too. Like,
Okay.
you know,
Like experimenting?
yeah. Like it's kind of inevitable for teens to just
Right.
You know, Stephen Carroll.
Yeah, gosh.
Are they?
Well, thank you for your
still
time.
working
I
there?
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Oh, thank you. All right, so we're gonna talk about like kids and technology and like how it affects them, or like how does it benefit them in teacher school, having fun,
Okay.
or like anything like that. Or what's your opinion on this?
My opinion about technology and kids?
Yeah, and like how is it in school and like out of school, like how is it good for them or is it bad for them?
Well, I think technology is excellent. What type of technology?
Like anything.
Like, do you feel they're too
like
heavily
social
within
media?
this generation? Do you feel they're too heavily dependent on technology? Do you feel like,
Do you mean like social media or like what kinds of
everything.
technology?
yeah, anything? But
I
you
mean,
could get into, you could tap
completely
into
is
social media.
dependent on which type. So for school, it's fantastic because it helps people get information quicker. It can help people, like if it's anatomy 3D model, you can actually interact with it. So I think that's important. If parents aren't helping kids learn how to utilize it correctly in a way that's not going to hurt their brain, because when you're developing from 0 to 5, you don't want to have too much interaction because it'll make your synaptical the transmissions between your neurotransmitters are going to be impaired, because as a kid you have to develop by not seeing that, otherwise
It
your
gets
developmental
affected.
brain, you're not gonna, there's some things that affect it. So basically, probably between 5 to 8, you want to limit the time of somebody on the technology. If it's going to be somebody looking at a computer or like a screen, you don't, for several reasons, you don't want to have them just looking at this place, because you're supposed to have, get up and like look around
And have neck movement.
and well, not just your muscularly, but neurologically, the way that your brain develops, you would be impaired if you are always like looking like that. So But other than that, so maybe, you know, you have like 20 minutes and maybe you're, you know, learning how to do music or something. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that you can use technology for.
Okay.
I understand that you said from age 5, but with the percent, 93% of children who have access to tablets and other things at the age of 3 to 18.
So as a parent, it would be important to put those somewhere where the younger child wouldn't
Okay.
be able to get it.
Like control their social media.
No, you don't
Limit
want to
the
control
resources?
social media to something on the tablet. I mean, actually put it away somewhere so they can't
Oh,
get
like take
it.
it away from them.
Like you put it in a locked cabinet or something. Yeah.
Limit it?
Like you wouldn't leave out flammable gasoline with matches next to it for your kid.
Okay.
So you're gonna do the same. You're gonna protect them from the dangers that can happen from something that could be dangerous to their development.
How can it be protected in the school life?
School? I don't know. I'm not an administrator. I wouldn't know that question.
Okay, thank you for your time. We appreciate your opinion. I understand that you raise kids, you have kids.
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to tap into the aspect because our topic for class is children. So I wanted to hear your voice about how you seen a child grow in the daily life you feel like they have to go through, and then the differences, like the prime differences you notice between that generation that your child lived in, your generation that your childhood was, and today's generation.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to elaborate on any of it.
So you want me to say what's the difference, or how I see the difference, how they being raised? Is that the question?
Yes,
Or how
ma'am.
they being raised?
Just about child life period, because I understand you have the child life experience from your own and your child's because you have a child.
Okay, well, in this day and time, I think raising a kid is hard.
Okay.
Because things are much tougher now.
Right.
There's,
In which way?
well, there's a lot more peer pressure.
Okay, right. I agree.
You know, and there's a lot more where I never seen the kids smoking as much. When my kids grew up, I know it was out there. I know they was doing it, the smoking and the
more than
drugs.
known.
But now it's more, and it's right like out in the open. In the past, the generation
Smoking weed?
smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, vaping, even though they didn't even have that vaping when my kids was growing up.
What do you think about smoking weed?
Well, actually, I don't think the kids should be smoking it. Really, the drug is not, to me, it's not safe for the body. But scientists say it is, but I never studied it, so my perspective of it, that it's really not safe, especially because they don't use it in the right way.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna use it as medical, that's probably a different thing, but nowadays they're not using it that way, and it's really not safe for the body. I think it's very harmful for the body.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
night.
Esmeralda? Vanessa?
Alright, my name's Juan.
Oh, my name's Angel.
Alright, so we're doing an interview about like children and how does it help them with technology? Like, do you think it benefits them, or like what does it do for them? Like in terms of like school, like activities, having fun, like what?
Well, me, I would say it does benefit, but it doesn't at the same time because it takes up a lot of time. Like, I feel like kids waste a lot of time on like
Technology?
yeah, like on their phones or like on social media and all that.
Yeah, and it can probably like distract them from what they actually need to do. So
Yeah, does it benefit with school to some kids or not?
I would say it does, because I mean, school systems nowadays, they pretty much do everything on technology, like to learn and everything. And like,
Do you think is a good thing, or should we stick to old school like school, or should we like just transfer to another system because like generation is changing? So like, should we change old technology or now?
Well, I would say stick to it because like now kids can take online classes and like some kids can't actually come on campus. So I guess like I would say stick to it.
All right. Thank you.
no problem.
We're going now.
All right. So
we're gonna talk about kids and technology. Like,
Shut up, bud.
so we're gonna talk about kids and technology and how does it benefit them. Like, do you think it's a good thing? And the technology based on social media and everything that has to do with technology, like in school and outside of school. What do you guys think about it?
I feel like older people think technology is bad for kids, but I feel like kids are more informed now because of like, you know, social media and whatever.
I think it's good and bad because I think that like younger kids they like use technology more at like such a young age. Like I know that some of my cousins are like 2 years old and they already know how to like work everything on like their iPad. And I think that like ruins like the point of childhood. Like they don't really get to play and like do like they're just always on technology. So like
What do you guys think about the Instagram thing that they're changing the likes?
I like
Like
that.
to no likes
Oh,
or
I
no
think that's
comments, I
good.
think it is.
yeah, I think it's good because like people shouldn't be focused on.
Do you guys know what they're really doing it for?
Isn't it so that they don't have to like pay the influencers or something?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the real
really?
reason. People were saying it's because so females don't feel like so like concerned about their bodies looking at other females, but it's not because of that. It's because Instagram is losing money because these companies are coming into this like people that are famous and giving them money to promote their stuff.
So now they want them to pay for ads, right?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that part.
that's why they're taking out the likes and everything. So they don't find the people that are more famous. All right, thank you.
And this is Teresa. Okay, and today she took the time to give her opinion about children and technology and her thoughts on how technology can affect children in today's generation. So what do you think children, or how do you think technology plays a role in a child's life?
In this society?
In this society.
Right now, I think it's a babysitting thing.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Children are more inside their home, watching television, playing Nintendos, and playing all the good games instead of being outdoor trying to climb a tree.
Ride a bike?
Or ride a bike, or just hang out with their friends and play skip ropes.
Okay.
That's
So it affects their social life.
yeah, their social skills are down, and also communication. Because
Okay.
they're not talking anymore.
Right.
Everybody's focusing on the game, you know, what they're giving their kids to watch. They just go in the store and the kids start screaming, okay, one buys it, but do you know what's on the label? Do you know what the game is about?
Right.
Right?
So it's just about keeping the kids knowledgeable about what's being shown on technology and things
Yeah.
that could affect them mentally.
Yes, in the generation to come, kids are going to be more silent. They're not going to be speaking up.
Okay.
You know, they're just going to use
Do you
everything.
do you think they can speak up on social media though? Like
Yeah,
their,
it's
their
not going to be
opinions?
verbal. It's just going to be all
Like in action,
action,
is
just
what we
action,
talk
yes.
about?
Like not face to face?
not face to face. And I don't think so.
Do you feel like it's gonna be harder for people to like marry more like friends or have like
I think people are going to be more.
have a good knowledge of making like relationships with other people, like by talking?
Yes, I think if you take communication out, that's going to cause a separation between cultures because you're not talking anymore. You're just doing game. You know, you're just
Right. Live in a different world.
yeah. And I think that's going to be a big thing for younger generation. I'm scared for them too.
All right.
Yes. Anything else? I gotta go.
No.
Sorry.
Okay,
Have a
thank you.
good day.